Hello and welcome everybody. Today we're going to be talking to Keila. She works for Kubrio. She's an amazing online educator who works with groups of students, and I will let her tell a little bit more about herself. Hello and welcome.
Hi everyone. Thanks for this exhibit. I'm really happy to be part of the summit. And first of all, my name is Keila Moreno. I'm located in Panama. I speak two languages. I'm bilingual, Spanish and English. I can tell that both of them are my native language because I grew up speaking both of them. I have a degree in marketing and advertising, an associate degree as a preschool teacher with like a specialty in didactics and pedagogy. And I've been with Kubrio, which is the main platform I've been working for since the pandemic for almost 3 years already. It's gonna be 3 years in July to be more specific. And it has been a great experience because I've been able to like meet people from different parts of the world, meaning my colleagues, students, parents. So it has been a great experience. And definitely, in career, the position that I have right now is a learning coach. I also do run one club in one time zone, which is Europe for book club. And I also, right now, I'm kind of like supervising other coaches to make sure that everything is running the way it needs to be running. And technically, that's it. It sounds very easy, but it's a little bit complex because it involves a lot of responsibility, checking on the kids and making sure that they are actually like it feel integrated and part of the platform because it's not like when you are in a real in-person place where you can actually meet the person and interact. It's other kind of interaction and get students to feel engaged and part of a community that is online is very challenging. It's not that easy, but you can succeed if you actually um show real interest in the kids. It's not like something that's fake. You are actually worried about them. You make sure that you're following up on them and always be there for them. Not only like, okay, this is the time where you can reach me out. It's not like that. They will always need something sometimes out of the time that when the meetings are. So definitely.
Now, Kubrio is a little different than some of the other online teaching platforms that might exist. Like we've had people talking about all school, out school, and these are more like come and go as you please type things. Um, can you tell us more about how Kubrio still has that feel of flexibility, but still has some structure for students?
Definitely. What we do is that let's say that what we offer as a structure, and let's say like this is what helps in a certain way to for the student to kind of have a structure in what they're doing, even though it's flexible as you just mentioned, is that we have the learning coach role. Even though not all the students attend pods, probably some of them are more like self-directed and they might not need a learning coach. But the main role of us as coaches is to make sure that the students do have a structure within what they are doing, like teach them how to plan, teach them how to schedule the things that they are going to be doing throughout the month. And it's not that we impose what they're going to be doing. They let us know and we help them through this process of planning. Like, hey, okay, we have this and this and that this month. What do you want to be doing from that? And we're always there to encourage them to do things that are different. Like you can learn more than this, okay? You can also learn these skills and probably you may not need it right now, but you might need them in the future, or it could be helpful in the future. So, and then the clubs is where it's more like optional, where they can actually go ahead and choose the learning experiences that they feel they identified with, or they feel that they're related to their skills or passions. So that is where we have like the balance. Like what I can do is an option, and then the pod where we meet from Monday through Thursday on a time frame of 30 minutes, where they can interact with a group of peers that they get really close to them because they meet, like as I said, 4 days in the week, every single month of the year. And it's not that the group changes, they grow together and they get to know each other very well.
We definitely do. For those of you watching, don't know, I met Keila because he's kind of been my son's learning his main person at the company at the school. And there's so many different options available for the kids. Um, now, like we have what, three different main options. So there's the
Exactly.
clubs,
The boot
pods,
camp,
nanos. Yeah.
the nanos also, and the boot camps, and also we have studios. For example, we have Board and Buster coming back, but now it's going to be student led. Let's say that the students had the experience of putting this great magazine with Karina, one of the facilitators, for 2 years, and now they took it to the level that they are going to be doing it on their own. Now the students are able to go through the whole process of putting the magazine together. But that's the whole point, because this is a self-directed environment. And at some point, if the students master what needs to be done in the process of this magazine, I think it's good, it's fair enough for them to take the role and run it on their own. I'm really thrilled about seeing what they are going to be putting together for the next issue.
Yes. That'll be interesting to see.
Exactly.
So you told everybody about 3 years ago, almost, is when you started this. Or were you doing any online teaching before that?
Not really. The only online teaching I did was actually with the pandemic in the very beginning, because I used to work as a preschool teacher for almost 4 years in a bilingual school here in Panama. I was the homeroom teacher. Um, to be honest, parents were very happy with me, but most of the agreements got like suspended for well, mine was suspended for the whole year.
Oh,
So yeah, exactly. And they had to run with a few number of teachers, not the regular number of teachers. But in the very beginning, I started with the process, but they decided to stay with less people. And well, in the end, I decided just to stay with Kubrio because there is nothing like doing your work from home. I think is less stressful. You have time for your family,
oh
even
yeah.
for your students, to jump in and quick calls if they need to. It's not like, and I think you create a great connection with parents. And one thing I do want to point out is that this is like a team between coach, parent, student. And the coach and the parents are there to make sure the student fulfills their dreams, and they're focusing on their skills or their talents to make sure they reach their goal. Because the thing is that kids kids can be like involved in many things at the same time. I know video games are great, even though but it's I want to mention here that they're also useful to learn. And if you see that your kids are passionate about games, you could probably encourage them like through the esports side. Like, okay, you love games, then why don't you try like joining any esport team and see how you can run in this career as a professional, or developing a game like by coding it. So we have to see like always find the positive side of everything that they're doing, and that they're learning from gaming. They can learn how to communicate, because it's not like when we were kids, where the games you could not play online with anyone, and you had to invite someone home in order to play with someone else. So it's so different now. They learn strategies, how to communicate. So it's a great window of opportunities for them to learn many things and put them into action.
Really, it really is. And throughout this summit, gamification keeps coming up. So many different ways to include games in your classes. We've got teachers doing board games. We've got teachers using online programs that use the game. We've got teachers making escape rooms. Um, I know you use some other things in your in your classes as well. Not just Kubrio teaching coding and making games, but you use things to really get the engagement out of the students, whether it's the playing things like the bonk.io, getting
Exactly,
the
bump
kids
that I
talking, but you also
exactly,
do other things to work with their reading and retention as well. Like, what kind of
exactly.
things do you like?
Well, we do epic books. We use it as a tool for reading, and they love it. Some of them like to read, some of them just like to listen and then answer the questions. And then something else that we do all the time is riddles. I think that's a great brain exercise, and they love it too. Like trying to figure out what happened in the scene. So that's something that they really love, like who did it or who has the fake jewelry or who is not rich. And they have to observe because it's an exercise of observation, paying attention to what you're seeing, paying attention to details, and then try to figure out if the answer you have is the right one. Even for me, sometimes it's kind of difficult to answer them when I'm watching the riddles with them. We're not so sure about the answers sometimes.
Or sometimes it's like, man.
Exactly.
So with all these different ways to teach online and different types, and I mean, you've got different grades or different age groups also in your groups. What are your teaching specialties?
Well, my specialty, to be honest, was teaching language. In one of my pubs, they wanted me to teach Spanish because since the language club disappeared, they were like, "Why don't you teach us Spanish here in the pod?" I was like, "Okay, then we can do that." So my specialty is in teaching languages, and when I used to be a preschool teacher, that's what I used to teach the students. Most of them were like zero English when they started pre-K, and by the end of the year, they could understand commands, slightly communicate. Now, I won't say that's perfect because 1 year is not enough to become familiar and only for 2 hours or 3 hours in the day, but it did
Mhm.
work. And I was so proud of them at the end of the year, like with the results and seeing like them being able to communicate and following the commands. That was awesome.
That is pretty cool. And so then what do you like best about being an online teacher?
Well, what I like about this, number one, I'm home,
Yeah.
of course. And
Oh,
the experience of getting to meet people from all over the world and also being through the process of seeing how a company works and like when people is not physically there is different. And I understood after the pandemic that you don't have to be physically in a place only if the position requires it. But if it's something that you can do from your home, from your computer, and you're very disciplined and organized, I think it's worth it. And as I said, I feel more comfortable. I arrange my schedule based on what my needs are and the students' needs are. So it's kind of a balance of what I need and what the student needs and what the company needs. So it's not like written on stone, except for the pod meetings because that's a fixed hour already. But for the rest is like, okay, what works for you? What works for me? And also teamwork online is different, but it can be done. Having being part of an online organization is fun. It's fun, and I think that you grow up. And this helps a lot also because I was organized, but I think that after this, I've become more organized and more like aware of time, checking, making sure that I'm on time in the different meetings that I have and things like that. So it's definitely has helped me grow in other areas.
yeah. I think keeping track of schedules is one of the things that online educators really start to learn about. And time management becomes a really important thing. And
Exactly.
what kind of advice would you give to somebody first starting out as an online teacher?
Well, to make sure that what you're doing is really what you like, because the only thing that will keep you motivated in an environment like this and making sure that you join on time and do the things that you have to do is that you really like it. Because if
Mhm.
you don't, it's gonna be like, I think I'm gonna skip today or things like that. To be honest, I haven't taken vacations like in a long time already since I started here. Only like for a few times, and it has been like 1 week. But the thing is that since we work from Monday to Thursday, it's kind of like we are already having vacations in some
Yeah.
way, but a little bit more spaced out. But if you add up like 3 days off and throughout the year, it's a lot of days. So at some point, it kind of compensates that. And I think it's really cool. The advantages is like, for example, if your power is out or your
Mhm.
internet is really bad that day or things like that, it might affect. But I usually when I have those type of scenarios, I run to a cafe that's like about 5 or 10 minutes close to my house, and I take the car and I get there to make sure I can meet with the kids because I don't like to leave them hanging. I'm not like those facilitators that are like asking for subs all the time. I usually don't do that.
Yeah, it's always good to have that backup location or that or something ready.
Exactly.
And
I already have
even when
my
you teach out of
perfect.
your own home.
Exactly. I already have my perfect spot in case I need to like leave like immediately because I have no power or I have no internet. Or usually it depends. I also use my hotspot if it's the internet, but if it's the light, I just go out and go to a cafe and then I come back home after I'm done with the meeting.
Yeah. So people might be a little bit curious about Kubrio because it is a little bit different and it's a different type of school. Can you kind of give people kind of a rundown a little bit from like just like an overall idea of what Kubrio really is.
Well, Kubrio in general is a great platform if you want to be part of a community because
Mhm.
we are more than like an online platform to learn. We are also a community where parents have a space to interact, where students have their space to interact, where we as coaches and learning experience facilitators have a space to interact. And I think it has been a great experience to connect because I already had the great opportunity because that's one of the advantages to meet you guys in
Yes.
person, the same Sebastian. I had a few months before that last year, I met two other of students I have in another pod. So I think it's a great way to create community, to grow in this homeschool, world school, or unschool environment. And the thing is that lately, to be honest, education is not the same, and it's not aligned with all the things that the future is offering right now. And if we don't accept that and have our kids grow in a different environment than what we did, which was the traditional, I'm not saying it was bad, but it's not aligned with the future. That's it. There are many things that are not useful. Should I be saying that?
Sure. I mean, I did my whole thesis on the education system myself. And I know the ins, the ups, the downs, the bad. I mean, it's based on an agrarian society, most school systems, and it's not the way the world is anymore.
So as I said, like, but for example, Kubrio is a great platform for that because the student has been learning about how to use AI, how it could be helpful to create projects. Even myself, I've been using it, how to create art with AI. Now we have a new thing that's called like Quest, where the
Mhm.
students can go in and work on quests that are created by an artificial intelligence that we have in the platform. So I think if parents are looking for an alternative that's different, but still is optional, self-directed, and it has a little bit of a structure that can lead the students to be independent, because that's the main thing of Kubrio. We're helping them being independent, not to depend, not even on us as coaches, not you as parents. We are there like to guide them, to supervise, to go help them go through the process, but not to do things for them. And they create amazing things in the end. They create coding projects. I've seen a lot of Blender projects that are amazing. Even books, as one of my students who is a teenager now, he started to when he was not a teenager, now he's a teenager, and he's writing a book, and he learned some skills from one of the boot camps, and he's been learning also from the nano courses. So it's a great window of opportunities for the students to learn different things, not only during the live meetings, but also from the nano courses that we have online. And also, as I said, build community. Because more than learning in the end, I think it is interaction, what we as human beings need. Because you can be in a classroom and the teacher can be speaking and speaking, even during an online call, and you could not, probably will never connect with the others. Then if there's no connection, there's nothing.
I can see that. And Kubrio is also really interesting because it's not just like a standard schools, like a brick and mortar school curriculum. It's not just like your English, math, science, art. It's got a lot more to it than just that. What
It has,
are the some of the topics that you guys teach?
well, we have some of the basic science club and math club, but we have drama club, creative writing, history of everything, which is not like the traditional history. You can learn the history of a lamp, how the lamp was created. We have global citizens where you will learn from other cultures, or like, okay, which is the best, which is the most beautiful um train station in the world. I learned as I subbing for one of the facilitators once. So it's really interesting. They have a gamers club, animation club, blender club, um, and many more that I cannot remember right now. And every month they have three different boot camps that are like a special class that's only going to be available once in the and probably in the month or throughout the season, because right now we're working with seasons. Right now the season we have is money makers. So everything that the students are learning in the clubs, boot camps, and even sometimes during the check-ins is going to be related to how to save money, how to invest money, and things like that. And they're really excited. Even at book club, I'm surprised that they're talking more now that it's related to money and how to make money. So that's kind of cool.
What are the age ranges of the students?
Well, the students who join career should be between 8 and, let's say, 18 years old is the maximum. But technically, I think we have more students between 8 and 14, 15 most of the time.
Very cool. And then you keep mentioning nanos. And I know that's a term that I never heard of until I started
Oh,
dealing with
yeah.
Kubrio. So let's tell people a
Well,
little bit about what these nanos are.
nano courses are like on-demand classes that are pre-recorded, and you go in. We have like around 40 right now, and this is like a self-paced learning experience where the student will sit down and watch the videos and work on a project on their own. Usually, um, as a learning coach, I will sit down with them like, okay, which have you worked on any nano courses lately? Is there any of the ones listed that you'll be interested in? And we'll also check in if there are new ones. I know like a month ago, one was posted like how to become a great learner or something like that, that will give them tips on how to learn and how to be more practical with the things they're trying to learn. So
There's another good one about making a YouTube channel so the kids can learn how to do that kind of
exactly.
thing. Yeah.
They have another one that's like how to become a like an actor or actress. They also have one like Taste the World Part 1 and 2, that is how to bake and how to learn to bake some specific desserts from different regions. They have in each Hunano they have three different desserts. So it's really amazing, to be honest. And they have a lot. They have even on fashion design one, introduction to fashion design, geography, fungi. So they have it's very diverse and it has different topics.
And Kubrio is not just a Zoom school. You have a platform now that you can actually teach within. And sometimes you might use Zoom, or some of the teachers might use Zoom. But can you kind of give people an idea of what the platform is about? Or if you want, you can share your screen if you wanted to show them what it is. So,
Sure, let me open it up here. Um, Let me screen share.
mhm.
Oh, I need to get, okay, there you go.
Yeah.
Okay, so this platform is really interesting. I don't know. I know most of the online learning platforms actually they need to use them because they haven't developed like anything that's incorporated into the platform. But that's one of the things that we have that everything is like incorporated here. So let's see. For example, this is my dashboard. This is like my teacher area where I will see like all the different spaces I belong to.
Mhm.
And for example, here I get notifications. Here it's reminding me that I have a meeting today with Multiverse Madness. That is my first class. Then, for example, I can come in here and check out the space of Multiverse Madness, and it will tell me, okay, session starting in 22 minutes and 8 seconds. So if you that all that is great. And then I have like posts here on the different things that we've been doing throughout the week, the events, so the students know when this is actually on a daily basis, but still it's here, so they can know which are the days that we're meeting throughout the month of the season because this is already planned until June. And then they can also check on the members, if there are any resources that have been shared here. Like I have, for example, with them, like July missions, comics, August missions, and things like that, things that they've worked on before. And not only that, for example, I can see they will have access to us, the schedule itself, like the global schedule, like everything that's happening in Kubrio. There's gonna be a lot of colors and things in here because there is a lot of things happening at the same time. While you and me are here, there might be something happening today right now. So for example, today is the 20th. And if I want to see what's going on here, I will see everything happening in all time zones, Asia, Europe, and America. So for example, here we have what like the activities for today, April 20th, and what is happening in all of the time zones. Let's say that our last activity here is at 6 p.m.
Hmm.
There's Academy boot camp. So we're active because this is, let's say, like a platform that's 24/7. And if you are in a different time zone and you need to move, like if you're in Europe and you're traveling to America, you can still do Kubrio because we have activities happening in the time zone where where you're moving to. So it's not like I'm moving and then what am I going to do with the classes or the pod meetings? There is always you can be assigned to a temporary pod if your kid also wants to join the pot meeting, if they want to join the clubs, they're also in different time zones. So they have that possibility of doing those kind of things. Now, also, I have here this specifics where we can find all of the spaces now that we were talking about nano courses. Let me go ahead and bring one up. And for example, here is one of and the way it's organized is in the order on number of students that are part of the space. So if you see this is the most popular one, how to be a YouTuber.
All the kids want to be a YouTuber.
Then we have second fashion illustration and the shadow of swastika, introduction to game design. This one is amazing because it teaches you everything from planning the game to coding it. So in the very first steps and which platform you can use to do this. So like there we have some as I mentioned before, Once upon a time, a story structure for creative. This one is amazing. Two of my students did this one, how to start your own business. It's one of the longest ones, but it's very complete for those who are entrepreneurs or they have an entrepreneurship spirit. So we have a lot here that the kids can come in, explore, look around, and imagine they could be doing only pods in and these different nano courses if they want. Let's say that their schedule is too complicated to sit down for live meetings all day long. They could go ahead and just like, you know what, let's do the pods and I'll focus on nano courses. And then if they want to, in the long run, they can also go ahead and say like, okay, I'm gonna be doing the club. So we have options. They could do both things. They could do one and the other or the other. So as I said, it's a great window of opportunity.
Yes.
It's not only one thing. They can do many things at the same time.
Very cool. So I mean, yeah, there's so much involved with it. I love the new platform. Go ahead. This is all structured out. Gives everybody a chance to be participants and see what's available and what they can do.
Exactly. Yeah, I do love it too because number one, I think it's safer for the students to within the platform. Sometimes we do Zoom because some of them sometimes since we're still developing the platform, sometimes their browser or their settings are not aligned with what's required. But I know we're getting there. We're in that process. So I think it's safer than just sharing the link out and I don't know who would share this link with other people. So I know that if I join in the platform, the students join in the platform, no one else that's not part of that space can join the meeting. So that's something
Have
additional.
have you noticed any challenges teaching through online or through Kubrio or anything?
Well, I think one of the challenges we face is that since this is not like when you join a school and it has like a start date and end date, some some parents just use it like, okay, I'm gonna like do it like a 1 month thing or a 3 month thing or a 6 month thing. There's not like a consistency and they where they continue doing it. But I encourage them like to do it at least for a year so they can see what's gonna be the difference from when the student joins until the next year for like being in the platform, how independent they will become, how like also like self-motivated, how to do things on their own, choosing things on their own, because this is something that will also guide them to decision making. Like it's not like, okay, I'm gonna do it because my mom told me to do it. Probably at the very beginning, but then they will go into that, okay, I want to do this, I want to do that. So they will be making decisions after.
Yeah, it's very student centered, and the student has to make a lot of decisions. We try to
Exactly.
keep the students keeping their own schedules and things like that. It takes some time, but the kids get the hang of it, I've noticed. So,
They develop a lot of responsibility because having to join meetings every single day for clubs, boot camps, or pods on your own, and at some point nobody's supervising you, is because you already became like very like number one, you're motivated, and so second, you have became independent at some point. At least with that responsibility that you have of joining your learning experiences and meeting your learning coach.
definitely. Well, and do you have any advice for teachers that are trying to teach um, or Kubrio or something like this, and having to do it from different time zones or anything like that?
Well, to be honest, to be open, open because we've been going through different processes, changes, and for example, there might be time zones where we have more students than others. And for example, if a teacher would like to apply for a learning experience, they can do it. We're always looking for teachers who or facilitators who want to teach something that's unique. We're looking for skills. You're not looking for someone to teach regular subjects. No.
No,
We're
no,
looking
no.
we're looking for skills that can empower the kids. and where they can teach them something that they can learn that's going to be an added value to their lives. That's what we're looking for.
I know it's not just let's teach history, let's teach horrible history, let's teach there's all this focused history, different areas.
That's different. Nobody talks about that in a regular school.
No, they don't. Um,
Exactly.
how does somebody who who says, I've got a great idea, how do they contact Kubrio to try to get approved for doing some nanos or something?
Well, they only have to visit our website. If I'm not wrong, we have like a career option, and it's like, let me look it up because I applied very long ago.
They probably
Okay,
changed a bit
we
in the
have,
last 3 years.
let me screen share. We have a section that's called Edutrepreneur. It's like because we technically are like, oh, this is like these are like our micro tools. We do have a platform and everything, but technically our own like sequence or and we're connected, but every learning coach have a different style of doing things. Now, for entrepreneurs, we have empower our learners or become an ambassador. They will have to click here on empower learners around the world. And then they will see what we do, learn the philosophy, and then here, become a learning coach, learn and apply, or create on-demand courses in case they want to create a nano course. They can submit it. We want concise, creative, and engaging courses
Cool.
and how much the course needs to be. As I said, this one is on demand, so you only apply once,
Yeah.
and then you create one course and you get paid for it. So that's what we have. Well, this is where they can apply to
Right.
become a coach or create on-demand courses.
And, do you know, is Kubrio currently hiring? Are they in an expansive phase or?
Well, I think we might be needing other teachers to try. We're open to receive any applications. Make sure that you're offering something different. That's my only pitch here. Make sure that your sales pitch is great and
All
what you're
right.
offering.
All right. Excellent. And can you share your screen again to show us your pod, your area so people can see how this looks and how this can be part of the school?
Okay, this is for pods. Here is like where the parents can find the different pods that we have. These are the ones in America,
Yeah.
and these ones are in Europe and in Asia. So we have three in America, two in Europe, and one in Asia. And if you come here, you'll see they will be able to see what's the monthly rate for spot. There is a short video where I explain everything about it, and then they will see like what time we need, also how long is the time of the meeting, also it's for with my pods are actually explorer pods because they explore many things, a little bit about me, my resume, like what I have as my background, what I studied, and where I worked before as well, and what are the things that we usually use in the pods also to learn. So it's very complete.
Very cool. That's excellent.
And they can also book a demo, and they will be meeting with Vlad, who is one of the founders of Kubrio.
Nice. All right. So that's very complete. Thank you for sharing that. All right. That was
You're
very good.
welcome,
Thank you for your time today, Keila. It was very nice. Um, I'm sure that
David.
I'm sure there's going to be some questions out there. If people did have some questions, is there a way they can get a hold of you on social media or something like that if they had some questions?
Um, well, I can provide my email. My email is KEILA KEILA@Kubrio.com. They can reach me out there. And I'll be more than glad to get back to them in case they have specific questions.
Sounds awesome. Well, thank you again very much. I'm sure people are going to appreciate this, and it's eye-opening for a lot of things. It's totally different than a lot of the educators have seen from some of these institutions out there. So definitely
Exactly.
appreciate your time today. Do you have any parting advice for everybody?
Well, no. I think we're good for today.
Awesome. All right. Well, thank you for your time, and everybody have a great day.
You do the same. And thank you everybody for watching this video.
All right. Bye.